by the good news, of which I was made a minister according to the gift of the grace of Elohim, given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me, who am less than the least of all saints, is this grace given, that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of the Messiah, and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the world hath been hid in Elohim, who created all things by Yeshua the Messiah, to the intent that now unto the principalities and powers and heavenly places might be known by the assembly the manifold wisdom of Elohim, according to the eternal purpose which he proposed in the Messiah Yeshua our Master, in whom we have boldness and access with confidence by the faith of him. Wherefore I desire that you faint not at my tribulations for you, which is your honor. For this cause I bow my knees unto the Father of our Messiah, Yeshua the Messiah, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named, that he would grant you according to the richness of his majesty to be strengthened with might by his Spirit in the inner man, that the Messiah may dwell in your hearts by faith, and you be rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth and length and depth and height, and to know the love of the Messiah, which passes knowledge, that you might be filled with all fullness of Elohim. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Unto him be honor in the assemblies by the Messiah Yeshua throughout all ages, world without end. Amen.
That's a tough one at the end of that one, I think. World without end. I remember Van Impe used to comment on that. He used to try to teach this wasn't going to end, it was going to keep going on. It doesn't. There's got to be an answer to that, don't you think?
Well, it speaks to the expectation of the imminent return of the Messiah. But here we have someone who's a bit more farsighted. World without end, honor in the assembly throughout all ages. You know, I think maybe because it's possible that the Apostle Shaul was aware of the 1,000-year reign that was going to be coming when he returned. So there was going to be a continuation of something, that the world wasn't going to end at his return. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the way that's worded, that's real tough, because when you say something without end, that's even worse than saying forever and ever, because you can put a limit on the forever parts.
Well, it speaks of the
this here world that doesn't have an end, it makes you wonder.
Well, it speaks of an eternal assembly. You know, the assembly throughout all ages, world without end. You know, now world, that raises an eyebrow, because the world, we always think of the world as something,
The cosmos,
at enmity, or the order of things that is perpetual. It's eternal.
Now this must be his concept of another world.
Yeah, another order of things. Yeah, an eternal one. And the assembly of living and breathing during all of that. To him be honor forever, basically, is what that's saying.
Anything else in that chapter stand out to you?
I have a question. If we go back to 17, in your hearts by faith, number one, that you be rooted and grounded in love, number two, then you may be able to comprehend all, with all saints, what is the breadth, the length, the depth, and the height. I'm looking at that as Paul perhaps could see all that, writing that. And therefore then to know the love of Christ, which passes knowledge, that we might be filled with all the fullness of, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about a Messiah dwelling in your hearts by faith that's a whole lot bigger than our imaginations could wrap our heads around.
Okay, now that final statement, world without end. Throughout all ages, world without end. That very love. Go back. Strengthened with might by his spirit in the inner man, that Yeshua may dwell in your hearts by faith, that you may be rooted and grounded in that which is Yahweh's love, may be able to comprehend with all saints what it is, the breadth, the length, the depth, the height. How much knowledge is wrapped in that?
Well, think about just this, trying to wrap your head around every nuance of just one day of this creation and all the things that happen in it. And he, smaller than the atomic structure of everything. I mean, he built this thing. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't care. I don't know anybody that could. But the awareness is there. Maybe not being able to wrap your head around it means that I don't have the intelligence or I don't have the ability to comprehend it all, but I am aware of it.
Might by his spirit in the inner man, it says there in 16.
Well, it's the only way it could. It's the only way that the awareness could take place, is by the Spirit that is within us to show us all things that pertain to the Father, which is what the Comforter is supposed to do.
Of whom the whole, all of us, family in heaven and in earth, is named.
Yeah.
Yeshua. So it's possible that Paul saw something really, really deep there in order to be writing that, and the only way we would be able to see it is by his Spirit in the inner man.
Yeah, he talked to them of that mystery. The mystery that was revealed to him that was hidden for ages and ages, eons and eons.
That entails that. Sure does.
I think it's a good answer.
In verse 9, it kind of shows how important Yahushua is. He says, according to the statement you're just making there, from the beginning of the world has been hid in Yah, who created all things by, created all things by him. So that's a pretty deep statement there.
And then First John says, in the beginning, he, the Word. What is the word?
Now that word by can be through, it could be with, it could be for the sake of, or for this cause. That word by can be used in a number of different ways.
But it still remains Yeshua.
Yeah, well, the Master Yeshua was the reason for all these things, certainly, to bring him to the fruition.
Exactly.
No, it's the same one.
According to the eternal which he purposed in Yeshua. Therefore, we have boldness and access with confidence by the faith of him before Yahweh.
Yeah, our faith is in the Messiah, and it is the Messiah's faith that makes our faith recognizable, because it is his faith that we're exercising.
He is the mediator, absolutely.
And any further questions or statements or anything? All right, you want to read chapter 4, Don?
Okay. Number 4, I therefore, the prisoner of the sovereign, beseech you, that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye were called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body, one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One sovereign, one faith, one baptism, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of the Mashiach. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, might fill all things. He gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of the Mashiach, till we all come in the unity of faith and the knowledge of the Son of Yah, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Mashiach. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even the Mashiach, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. This I say therefore, and testifies in the sovereign, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yah through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness and greediness. But ye have not so learned Mashiach, if so that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua. That ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt, according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after Yah is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good, to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearer. And grieve not the set apart spirit of Yah, wherewith you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Yah, for the Mashiach's sake, has forgiven you.
All right. There's a lot of stuff in these, I'll tell you, a lot. Anybody make any comments, question on this chapter?
It's interesting in verse